What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Javi here, or Javier, whatever you like to call me. And today we're going to be going over Mr. Nightmare Creepypastas ranked from worst to best in some sort of way. Now, I have this tier list I'm reviewing here. I'll put it up on the screen right now. It goes from meh to godly, specifically meh, mediocrity, good, and godly. Now, I thought these were good tiers. I'll link the tier list in the description below. If you want to rank your own creepypastas, again, this is all subjective, not objective. There is no objective ranking to this. And I didn't put any of them in bad because I really don't think any of these are that bad. I just think there is some ones that I would just skip over, if it were to come to that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So you can find most of these creepypastas in a playlist I'll probably link below. Um, unfortunately Mr. Nightmare deleted most of these, which I actually understand why, because it kind of doesn't fit in with the rest of his criteria that he kind of has to his channel, like the true scary stories. Creepypastas, they're obviously not true, So I mean, there is some true ones, I believe, but most of them, like 90% of them, are not true. That's why they're creepypastas. So, but again, these are classics. Literally, all of these are like classics. Because Mr. Nightmare, I feel like he probably won't do these again. So there's kind of a novelty to him. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sacred, to him. You know what I'm saying? So I respect these stories a lot. You know, whenever if I think they're you know meh or just very good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this ranking here. I believe there's about 35, at least 35 of these stories. I know there's more than that. There's some lost ones, I believe, as well, that people just can't get their hands on or just not in this tier list. So, if you guys wanna let me know on some lost ones, then I got you. So let's get on with the tier list. So going off from the worst, we got the path. Now, the path is not the worst because of what you might think. Because this story did not have good ratings. You know, I remember Mr. Nightmare deleted this video like a couple hours after uploading it because people did not enjoy the story. It was about so basically, I forgot to go over this. Is the path is about this murderous fucking devil kid who has to watch his sister for the afternoon and takes her on this path and just murders her. And he talks about how he murders a cat before, and the plot twist is that, well, his parents are having another child and he's very excited to be a big brother again. And it is such a fucked up story. And the thing is, these topics aren't bad to have in a fictional story. You know what I'm saying? Fictional story, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? To explore these very dark topics, and there's some stories that do this quite well. I can't name them right off the bat, but I'm sure there is. But this story, it is not executed well. This story is bad. I'm sorry. I know it was not written by Mr. Nightmare. It was written by some other guy. I don't know why Mr. Nightmare narrated this. I don't know what he was thinking. Because people did not like the story right off the bat, and I was one of them. But not for the subject matter. It's just because it's a bad story. Like, it's just not good, and it's not a long story. It's not a good story. It's just not good. You know what I'm saying? It's just not good. So next we got Blood Red Riding Hood. Blood Red Riding Hood is, I just never got it. I just never got it. I felt like it was never scary. Like, it's about this might be a boy or a girl. Kind of a modern twist to the Little Red Riding Hood, but with kind of horror fantasy element to it, where this person is always in a red hoodie, always on her phone listening to music, and she's at her grandma's house, and she meets this wolf, and the wolf like eats her leg off or something like that, and she doesn't feel the pain, but when the wolf leaves, she feels the pain. I have no clue. I have no clue what this was trying to do. I mean, I admire the fantasy element to it, and it's unique from the others on this list, don't get me wrong. It's unique. but I just never got it. You know what I'm saying? I never got the ending. And this is all my fault. It's subjective. I've encountered somebody that loves this story. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad. It's not a bad story, but it just never clicked with me. You know what I'm saying? It's never clicked with me. So the next is Wrong Room, if I remember the name right. It has the 414 in the thumbnail. I believe it's called Wrong Room. This is actually I believe it's a troll pasta. I believe. It's where this guy, I believe he lives like in an apartment complex or something. He goes to the wrong room, and he sees some guy eating like meat in like a dark room, and turns out it's just a guy eating like veggie pizza or something, and the author's like, oh my god, why would he eat veggie pizza? It's pretty unexpected, I'm not gonna lie, but again, it's just a troll pasta. There's nothing else to it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gloss over that. Next we got is The Pursuer. Never a big fan of this. I feel like it was just a basic creepypasta, just some dude getting followed. Really nothing else to it. Again, I don't remember the story that well. I re-listened to most of these, but I just wanted to get this video done, you know what I'm saying? Because I really wanted to cover this. Very excited. So that's the med tier as a whole. And I want to remind you, this tier is not bad. None of the videos in here are that bad. For the most part. They're pretty decent. So yeah. Next we got The Flashing Light in the Mediocrity tier. The Flashing Light is an interesting one. I feel like it's actually a pretty creepy story. But I mean, it's okay. Basically, The Flashing Light, it's like this guy who's sleeping and he keeps seeing this light, and he has these weird dreams of like his boss being like an axe murderer or something like that. And there's some plot twist at the end or something. And I never thought the story was that great. You know what I'm saying? Again, I haven't listened to the story in a while. I should do my research, but do I care? No, not really. But yeah, again, I might update this video where I actually do my research and update my tier list. But yeah, this is just the first revision. But yeah, going into that, man. This story's alright though. It's definitely better than anything in the med tier. Okay, I remember it pretty fondly, but it doesn't compare to the good or godly tier, which I have more knowledge on, by the way. Next in the mediocrity tier is Thomas and the Children. I just listened to this like a day ago, actually, so I'm pretty refreshed on this. It's about this guy who, his son loves Thomas, and he buys him a Thomas and Friends, was it a VHS tape or a CD? I'm not sure. And I guess the kid watches this, and he asks his dad, oh, why does Thomas kill the children? And dad's like, son, what the fuck are you talking about? You're a retard. Go to bed. And he watches it for himself, and he comes quick to understand what the son was talking about. And yeah, pretty much. And I guess the plot twist at the end is there's mad spoilers in this, by the way. Go listen to these stories, like 5 minutes long. And I guess he kills his son because he was hypnotized by the CD. So yeah, the story's not bad. It's just a typical kind of lost episode, kind of creepypasta that Mr. Nightmare narrated, which won't be the last of that kind on this list, by the way. We'll get into that like a couple minutes later. But yeah, this story isn't that bad. It's alright for what it tries to do. Next we have is Nuclear Meltdown. This one is pretty unique. I just listened to this yesterday as well. Not a big fan, but I do like the ending quite a bit. So basically, it has kind of a realistic fiction element to it. It's about the U.S. nuking the Marshall Islands with multiple projects like Castle Bravo and all that, and like Trinity Project or something like that. And pretty much, the author, the narrator, explains how, in the times that these bombs were kind of implemented, like the 40s and the 50s and such, and 60s, people born with like deformities and disabilities and all that were like kind of reprimanded by society, you know. So excuse me. So pretty much they were sent off to like the Marshall Islands to live in some small community of like 100, 200, 300. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. And I guess during Castle Bravo, the US nukes them. And the author reminds us that they're still here and they want revenge. And I thought the ending was pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty dope. It wasn't even scary, it was pretty badass. Pretty fucking awesome. So actually I probably would move that story up to good, but I thought it was okay. I feel like it definitely could have been longer. Definitely could have focused more on the grunts or whatever they're called, and yeah, probably the grunts mainly. More info on them would have been awesome. The story's not bad. It gets put in mediocre. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. None of these stories are horrible. They're okay. This story is a pretty decent on my tier, but it's not great. Next we got in Mediocrity is the portraits or whatever. This story is very short. It's like a minute long. Mainly relies on the plot twist. I think everyone and their mom has heard the story, and that's why it's in the mediocre tier. Of course, Mr. Nightmare had to narrate it, but I bet you can go through every horror narrator on YouTube and you can find them narrating the portraits. So basically, sum up the plot in like 10 seconds. This guy's in the the forest. He was like going hunting or something, and he's mad tired. He doesn't want to go home, so he finds a cabin and he knocks on the door for formalities, and nobody's in there, so the door's unlocked. He just goes in and he finds a bed and he sleeps in it. But then he sees these portraits that kind of scare him, as people's faces, and then he kind of just turns to the wall and sleeps. Kind of dismisses it, and then he wakes up the next morning and he realizes the portraits are gone. But then he realizes, oh wait, the windows. Yeah, plot twist is dope. Don't get me wrong, the story's good, but again, this story's been covered to death. There's nothing special to it. Mr. Nightmare doesn't have that touch. Well, he does, but it's just a original story. You know what I'm saying? It's not an original story. You can find that shit everywhere. Yeah, that's really sorry, portraits, but yeah, story's good though. It's good length. You know what I'm saying? Perfect, and the plot twist can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it in the mediocre tier. Not bad. Next we got is Sneaking into Freddy's, I believe it's called. I like, again, the uniqueness to this. This is kind of like a found footage, lost tape kind of element to it, like kind of like the Blair Witch or like VHS or something. And so basically, this guy sneaks into the Freddy's in I believe it's Utah, and there's some kind of realistic element to it. The guy sneaks into Freddy's, kind of just wants to document what's going on there and his clothes and all that. And he gets killed, I believe he gets stuck. I listened to this yesterday as well. He gets stuck into like the basement, and he sees this little girl, and the animatronics kill his ass and all types of shit. So this is my least favorite Freddy story that this guy has, just because it's short and it's not really that great in my opinion. It's a good story, I obviously didn't skip it. I listened to it. But it's not bad, you know what I'm saying? It's not bad. It's what's up. The story's not bad. Not bad. So like literally it's like the most average story on this like tier list, you know what I'm saying? That I'm going through and reviewing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's straight. Jump cut. So I'm back. So I listened to The Children Upstairs and Subway Stare. So these were the next two videos on the mid list. I listened to them a couple days ago, but I wanted to listen to them again just to kind of refresh my mind, and I think they both deserve to be in that tier. So I'm gonna go over them in order. So The Children Upstairs is this Japanese urban legend, some sort like that, where pretty much it's this guy who lives in this apartment, and he hears like children's like noises upstairs, blah blah blah. So one day he's feeling nice, he eats lunch, and he has some pizza remaining from his box. So he decides to go upstairs and give the children upstairs some of his pizza. So he knocks on the door, and he just feels uneasy just knocking on the door in the first place. So somebody opens the door, and it's this mother and her two children, but they're lined up weird. Like they're lined up mad weird, like too perfect. Looks like they have no bodies. And plot twist, they have no bodies. It's the husband who killed like all of them, and he it's just their heads. Pretty decent plot twist. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of seen it coming, but it's not bad though. It's not bad. I mess with it. But I think it's the mediocre tier. The next story we have is Subway Stare. Subway Stare is, honestly like this one a little bit better than Children Upstairs. It gets straight to the point and sweet to the point with it. So Subway Stare is this woman on the subway, and excuse me, where pretty much there's this weird guy looking at her, or a weird woman or whatever, and the woman's just like staring at her, and there's like guys around her and all that, just looking mad weird. So this guy it's looking mad weird. So one of the people from the bus come like sit next to her, and she's freaked out. She thinks she's gonna get like jumped or something. And the guy comes to her and says, "Look, if you want what's best for you, you get off at the next stop." And the girl's like, "Okay, like I'll do it." And she thinks it's a good idea because, well, there's gonna be people probably at the next stop, and she'll be safe. She's scared of this guy. But turns out the guy actually like saved her life because the woman that was staring at her was actually dead, and the guy was propping her up. I like that plot twist a lot. Decent. And gets to the point. I respect it, actually. I do like it. So yeah. Almost done with the mediocre tier here, guys. So from here on out, for the most part, these stories are pretty damn good. So next we have SpongeBob bootleg episode. By the way, this picture is fucking terrifying. Like, it's absolutely fucking terrifying. I hate this picture. I hate looking at it. It's like the opposite of eye candy. It's fucking terrifying. So, SpongeBob bootleg episode is, I believe, the last. Oh no, not the last. Sorry, I just looked at the list again. Not the last. Going off a little reference sheet here for like the first time in forever. This creepypasta is about SpongeBob bootleg episode. These guys find this lost episode in like a garbage can or something, place where people always find lost DVDs that they shouldn't be watching. And excuse me, pretty much they watch it, and like a bunch of things happen to these guys. Like one dies, one like overdoses, one goes missing, and the other one just doesn't want to talk about it. But I believe one of them was like, okay, like I'll describe a little bit to you, and it's the episode Dumped. If y'all ever watched the episode Dumped, real episode, of course, of SpongeBob, and it's this frame of the episode. And it's actually a cool concept to it. Like, there's some realism to it here, and you can watch the episode of Dumped, and you can actually see that frame that they're talking about, and it looks very similar to the picture that's here. And this picture is fucking terrifying. Like, I hate it. I hate looking at this picture. But the actual frame of the episode, I think I might show you guys it. The real frame, which is equally as terrifying, honestly. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, he has no mouth, it's just eyes. Like, it looks creepy as hell. But the creepypasta is a little bit too short for me. That's why I put it mediocre. It's like 2 minutes long. And I do admire that it gets straight to the point. Stories like that are usually better than super overly long stories. Like my videos, they'd be like 2 hours long, and then I look at them back and they'd be like, bro, why is this 2 hours long? It's because I don't cut my videos, bro. I don't cut my videos. I don't care to. So if you don't like uncut videos, then sorry, don't care. But yeah, So this creepypasta not bad. Short listen. If you guys want to listen to it, go ahead. I won't link all these in the description, but I'll link the playlist to most of these. It should be in there. So next we got is, I believe that is the Snatchers, if I'm right. So the Snatchers is pretty decent story, very cool concept, by the way, like very cool. So pretty much the Snatchers are these kind of very tiny creatures, like you will never see them. You know what I'm saying? You will never see these Snatchers, and pretty much they kind of make sure we're good. Make sure we're good, and they take our tiny possessions like socks and smartphones and like little things you'll lose, like keys. They take these things and you won't see them again. But they do this because they want to secure our lives. They can see the near future, and for that, they believe they should be able to take some of our possessions from time to time. And it's a really dope concept, man. But again, they don't do much with it. They kind of just get straight to the point. And this is one of those examples where it's like, okay, cool, you got straight to the point, but you could have done so much more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have done like a story of an actual guy, and the whole kind of hook to this plot is that you don't want to find the things that they take. For example, like if the Snatcher takes your sock, right, and you find that sock again, it means bad news, pretty much. And that is so dope, in my opinion. But again, missed potential of the story. Go listen to it, please. It's like 3 minutes long. It's very short. 3 minutes out of your day, something like that. And by the way, the thumbnail, like the Snatcher, is fucking creepy. By the way, like, I hope they don't look like that. But yeah, it's very cool though. Very cool. Very dope. So next we're moving on to the good tier. Now all these stories from here on out I like a lot. Like a lot. So yeah, let's get into it. By the way, like, these aren't in order. I'll probably say them in order at the end. If I had to give you a worst, the worst is The Path, because that story sucks. Like, it's legit not good. Either that or probably Blood Red Riding Hood. It's just, I don't know. Sorry. But I will state my best probably later in this video when I get to that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And the first in the good tier, we got Unrelated Events. Unrelated Events is about related events. The story is, the title is a lie. It's about somewhat related events. And the concept of the story is so dope. I haven't listened to the story in a while, but I still remember it for the most part, so I'm going off script here. So pretty much, it's about this little kid, right? And he's hearing noises and shit. He's getting scared, you know what I'm saying? And he's hiding with his teddy bear in the corner of the room. He's a blanket over him, trying to stay, solid, so nobody can creep on his ass, you know what I'm saying? So he sees like this man, and he has no clue who he is. No clue who the man is. Zero clue. And it's in his childhood home. And then after that, he goes without incident. Like, his life just continues on. And eventually, like 15, 20 years later, he's at like some trip or something like that, and he goes to this house that looks unfamiliar. It's like his friend's house or something. And he goes to like this room because he hears these weird ass sounds. And he sees this kid in the corner with a blanket and a teddy bear. And he's like, what the hell is going on? Like, you good, bro? Like, you straight? And that, like, those connections is just good enough to put in the good tier for me. Again, I'm kind of explaining it pretty bleakly because I didn't feel the need to rewatch this because it's just that memorable for me. And I really fuck with that story. I think it's great. In its own right. So yeah. I would definitely put that in the good tier. Not quite godly in that aspect, but it's a pretty damn good story. Again, I feel like you could have done more with it though. The story's like 7, 8 minutes long, I believe. So yeah, I'm putting it in a good tier because I feel like you could have done more with it, you know. And yeah. Uh, Next we have tapping and knocking. I believe that's a story. The thumbnail is that little creepy ass abandoned ass house. So this story is very simplistic in my opinion, but it gets the job done quite well for the length that it's at. So pretty much it's about this guy, normal guy, who lives in the house with his father, and it's just him, and he had this kitty cat, and he would hear like tapping and knocking at his window, like these weird ass sounds from time to time, but he was always pass it off as like his cat, like scratching the walls or whatnot, or walking on the wood and all that. Nothing serious, So he always thought it was his cat just wandering around the house. But eventually his cat unfortunately passed away. Rest in peace, this guy's cat. And but the tapping and knocking continues. So he just speculates why that might be. But fortunately for this guy, he moves out the house like a couple months later, so he's good now. And the next house he goes without incident, just normal house. So yeah, so pretty much, and then he talks to like his father, or either that or he finds out himself that he looks on the news or something, and he sees that the family that lived in that house when he moved out was actually murdered. And he finds out it was like his neighbor or something, and he was investigating. He had pictures of the house that they lived in, even during the time that they lived in that house. And I'm kind of explaining it a little, off the tone here, off the rip. But this story is pretty decent for what it does, good length. I wouldn't even say they could have done more with the story, like most of these complaints they have here. But yeah, and I failed to mention that Mr. Nightmare is narrating these. He does a great job in all of these, like great job. He implements some sound effects in there from time to time. Some good music when events happen. So I really do, like his narration. So I'm not really talking about it as much because I feel like he just does a pretty flawless job, even with bad mics. So yeah, I mess with that story a lot. By the way, before I get on to the next one, when doing more research, I did see a couple of stories that were not listed on here, such as Never Inviting Strangers or Afraid of the Dark, which I won't cover them because they're not on this tier list. But if I have to say, Never Inviting Strangers is a godly story, and Afraid of the Dark is like Mediocrity. It's not bad. Just going off those real quick. Those are the one I remember. Those pretty good as well. Next on the good tier we have is Peter's Shadow. This is a somewhat Disney creepypasta. Very unique, It's kind of a weird thing to write a creepypasta about, but it gets the job done. The story's fucking creepy. So, pretty much this guy buys like a VHS tape. It's like the 90s or the 2000s or something. Watches it with his family, and it's just a fucked up, like, modded, hacked VHS tape. And this guy just is scared shitless of it. Because he was a kid, He was a kid. And, scared shitless of this tape. And he sees things like Peter's shadow across his wall and shit. And, there's some correlation to Bible verses in here as well, which is very cool, actually. If you listen to the story and look up the Bible verse, it actually relates to something else that's in the story. I kind of don't want to spoil it because it's a very good story. It does go off his length. And what happens at the end with the narrator's brother, not the narrator, the author's brother, is fucking nuts. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, I'm not really gonna spoil that one because you guys need to go listen to it. But it's a pretty creepy story. It gets the job done well damn well, very very well, very well. Um, so yeah, that's what's up. Um, by the way, uh, the next story, kind of don't remember as well. But anyways, the next one we got is Am I Crazy? This one has a little like skinwalker thing on the thumbnail, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, this one is I believe the premise is this. The narrator, he goes out for like a smoke, right? Or yeah, I think he goes out for a smoke. Or maybe it was his damn, maybe it was his damn, maybe sorry guys. Hold on, let me listen. Alright, so boom, I'm back. Okay, I'm good. Alright, so am I crazy? It's actually deserving of that good tier. I just had to listen to it again. Like I just remember it being good, and it was good. Plot summary, pretty much. This guy, when he was a kid, he was playing with his cat Jacob, and this is like the saddest part of the story. Um, he goes to like this forest for some reason, like in his backyard, and he sees this tall ass humanoid creature, and he just gets scared and leaves the cat. What an idiot! And yeah, he gets scared and leaves the cat, and he grows up, not without incident. Like he still thinks about it, but then he grows like, and he goes out and smokes when he's older, like smoke a cigarette, and then he sees the thing again, like for the first time in like 20 years, and he just goes batshit crazy, and the ending is creepy as fuck. Like he asks you, like the reader, like he asks you if he's crazy. Like he's like, "Am I crazy? Do you think?" Like some Norman Bates shit. It's just kind of creepy. Like it kind of makes me like not want to trust this guy. I don't know why. But yeah, maybe I'm not catching something in the story. I don't know, but I think it's good either way. It's just creepy. It gets the job done. You know what I'm saying? So just that in that regard, that's what's up. Next we got is the crawl space. The crawl space is there's two crawl space stories I think of. I think of the one with the in like Italy with the girls, and I think of this one that Mr. Nightmare narrated. This one is how this guy is in a house and it has this big ass nasty ass crawl space in it, and pretty much there's actually a person living in that shit, and his parents like don't believe him. Like they're like stupid. Like their fridge is like getting empty as hell, and they think it's him. And this dude's touching his cherry cokes and shit, and it's just messed up. And I don't want to reveal too much of the story. It's really good. The ending is dope. I really like the story, and it's awesome. I think it's deserving of this good tier. You know, just kind of glossing over it a bit because I want you guys to listen to the crawl space in its own entirety. But it's a good story, that's for sure. Next we got is The Puppet by I know it's by too. I think it's by like Kai Simpson or something. I don't know. But this story is creepy. I guess when this author was young, his parents bought him a puppet, and it's like this big ventriloquist kind of puppet, like human size, like weird. And yeah, he bought this puppet, and he just doesn't like it. He's not a fan of this puppet. Uh, and yeah, he just is not a fan of this puppet, and it kind of follows him throughout life. Like he remembers it from one sequence and then another sequence. Like for example, he remembers it in his garage, or he remembers it being a picture on this calendar for some reason, or he remembers seeing it at like his birthday or something. It's very weird. It's like supposed to be resembling something. Like that's what I think the story is. I feel like it's kind of resembling something. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of a link to something, and that's what I think is pretty dope about the story. You can interpret it in different ways, but the ending is very cool. Like it's very creepy, and I didn't see it coming, honestly. It's about the author's child, I believe. So yeah, pretty unique. Again, I want you to listen to the story yourself. But yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So next we got is Christmas tree decorations. I actually didn't know this one existed till like this year. I'm not gonna lie, like I never knew this story existed. It's in the good tier because it's a good length for what it is, and it's a Christmas story. I fucking love Christmas stories. I love Christmas horror stories. Like most people be writing that shit during Halloween. Motherfucker, Christmas just as scary, bro. I don't know why, but during the winter time, the vibe is different when you read these, you know what I'm saying, or when you write these, or when you listen to these, you know what I'm saying. So I think you guys can kind of validate my opinion on that. But yeah, so Christmas tree decorations, I just listened to the story not too long ago. So it's about this girl and her mom leaves her by herself in the apartment, and she's in France, Paris, I believe. Yeah, Paris, and she gets this knock on the door, and this guy just wants her, and yeah, pretty much not cool. Like this guy breaks down the door with an axe, and she's trying to do whatever she can, and I don't know why her mom would leave her. Like it's like Christmas, bro. Like what are you doing, being a prostitute or something? Like what are you doing, man? This shit's whack. You're a bad mother. And yeah, she's by herself and she's under control. She has like no phone or nothing, so she can't contact her mom. And pretty much the guy, I'm gonna spoil it, the guy kills her and hangs her body parts on the Christmas tree, and her head is like the star you put at the top. It's like mad gruesome. And her mom comes home to see it, and it's a simplistic story. Uh, but it gets the job done. It gets the job done, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what's up. And it's called Christmas Tree Decorations. And if you can listen to it, go ahead. It's like a 7-8 minute story. Most of the links for these videos are like the same, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's what's up, honestly. So yeah. The next story we got is titled, what is that shit? I think it's called like Santa something or something like that. Hold on, bruh. My bad, y'all. How could I be so foolish? It's called Santa Claus is Coming. So, Santa Claus is Coming is like about this kid who sees Santa. He's actually like a burglar, like a fucked up ass burglar. And he's like hiding on the table, just watching, just chilling. And I think he talks to him. And it's pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty fucked up what happens at the end. Again, I'm not gonna spoil it. It's something about like his pet or something like that, and like his mom like opens it on Christmas Day, and it's sad, you know what I'm saying? So I'll put this in a good tier, you know what I'm saying? It's what's up, I like this story. I remember this is one of the first stories I listened to by him, and I thought it was fucking terrifying because Santa Claus, bro. Like, damn, that's messed up, dog. That's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up. So yeah, again, these stories are pretty simplistic. Like, um, the ones I think that are very unique for what they are is unrelated events in this tier at least. Peter's Shadow, uh, the Puppet, and yeah, so far, with cool premises and cool executions. So yeah, I'll fuck with that. Next we got is Toy Story Lost Toys. Is that? I think that's what that shit is called. I believe so. And this is not bad. This is what's up right here. Like I'm mess with this story. I think it's decent, but that's probably biased because it's like another Lost episode, and I fuck with Toy Story heavy. So yeah. So pretty much this kind of creepypasta kind of relies on the plot twist a little bit. So yeah. Sorry guys, unforecasted interruption. But yeah. So we were on the Lost Toy Story. My bad. So this story is about this guy. I think he gets like a box or buys a box for like $5 or $10 or something, and it has CDs of the Toy Story films. This story kind of aged bad because it says the box includes Toy Story 4, which the guy doesn't remember because it was obviously written before Toy Story 4 was a thing. So that made it age a little bit worse because it's actually a thing now if you're not living under a rock. So yeah. But anyways, the ending to this story is pretty dope. Um, Honestly, that's kind of what made it scary. But the part where Andy kicks his little sister's stomach is kind of funny. It's so random and unexpected and fucking retarded. Like, why would you do that? You're an asshole. It's not even scary. But yeah, um, pretty dope story if I had to say so myself. So yeah. Next we got is Last Friday. I listened to the story yesterday as well. Because I haven't listened to it in a long ass time. Pretty short listen. It's like 2 minutes or something. So this story is like a kind of ritual creepypasta actually, which separates it from the rest. I say kind of because um I'm not sure where to do this ritual at or how, but it does describe that pretty decently. So pretty much, it's about this woman, and again, the plot twist in the story is pretty good. By the way, I actually didn't see it coming. Uh, Most of these stories have great plot twist, but yeah, uh, basically, it's this guy explaining this little thing that happens in this town in like the hills, where if you see this girl walking with like headphones on, um, she'll ask you like a series of questions, or you ask her a question. Be like, hey, when is the thunderstorm or something like that? And she gives three answers. One of these answers is like Thursday, which means like something will happen with you in the afterlife. If she says like a certain thing, like you will get one of your wishes granted, which is like awesome. But if she says last Friday, it basically means you're fucked. So yeah, don't want to reveal too much of the story. But the plot twist really damn good. And I'll reveal the story honestly to you if I remembered it as much as I did, but um, my memory from yesterday, I'm not remembering yesterday, so yeah, but honestly, if I didn't listen to it yesterday, I have no clue what the story is. But it's pretty good though. I'm rocking with it. Good lengths. Um, Pretty creepy. The twist saves it for me, honestly. If it didn't have a twist, I'd probably put it like mid or something. Maybe even bad, but yeah. It's what's up though. I mess with it. Next we got Chicken Bones. Chicken Bones, never really liked the story, but like I'll go off the rails a little bit here. I always kind of avoided the story because I just thought it looked boring. Um, I don't know. It's like the thumbnail just never appealed to me. So I just listened to this yesterday, and I'm gonna say it's actually pretty damn good. This is actually gonna be like the only story where I don't say anything about it because I want you guys to go listen to it yourselves. Pretty simple premise, pretty good execution. I like the story a lot. I think this is written about like an actual author as well, but I don't think it's quite in that godly tier because I don't have any nostalgia with it or anything. But coming from like an objective point of view, objectively, I think it's a good story. Not even my opinion. I legitimately think it's a good story. So requires some thinking. But yeah, it's pretty good. Go listen to it. Trust me. Nothing revealed there. Next we got Bad Dream. Bad Dream is shorter kind of story. I think it's like a minute long. Relies on the twist. My bad. So basically this story is how do I explain it? It's about this guy who has a dream, and that it's kind of like those 2 sentence horror stories, but in a creepypasta. It's like he has this dream where a kid walks up to him, or it's a child, I believe, and he's like, oh no, my fault, I'm getting that confused. So this guy's child walks up to him, wakes him up in the bed, and he's like, oh, daddy, I had a nightmare, and I'll describe to you what it is. And the dad's obviously like shaking up. It's like, okay, just get into bed and sleep with us. And the daughter's like, I don't want to get in your bed, the fuck. And she's like, oh, I had this nightmare where I was talking to you about my nightmare, and this thing behind you starts rising up, and then the thing behind him starts rising up. Go listen to it, please. It's a quick listen, and the plot twist is pretty dope. It's a good like small sentence, short, scary story. But yeah, I guess his wife is like some black siren head Slender Man looking ass motherfucker. But yeah. Again, that's all you, bro. That's all you. So I respect what you're going for, you know what I'm saying? That's your taste. Go right ahead, bro. Go right ahead and mouse on that, bro. So the next two we got is some interactive stories that I'm gonna go over. Of course, I can't really go over these because they're interactive. I actually haven't listened to these in quite a while because I can't find them. The links that are with the videos, I just can't find them, bro. Unfortunately, so I really want to though. Like, man, I love those videos a lot. They're awesome. And I remember just a couple years ago, those stories were still up. Make me miss those stories, man. Damn. But yeah, the first one we got is The House. I think these interactive stories were done by Mr. Nightmare himself. I think this is the second or first of the bunch, I believe. So The House is about you. It's like 1 a.m, and it's you and this guy, and your friend's like kind of drunk, kind of out of it, and I think he goes to piss in like this house's backyard, and he gets lost. He like wanders off, and you kind of have to explore the house and make the choices when it comes along. And I love interactive stories, man. They're so dope. And Mr. Nightmare's take on it was awesome. He has his own unique touch to it. He does nothing too much with these stories here, but they're executed very well. And man, I really wish I could do them again, because I don't even remember most of them at this point. So doing it at this point in time would be like starting over fresh with these, at that point, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, but these stories are dope, like they really are. This one is kind of the more simple out of the bunch. The next one we got is the Christmas interactive story, I believe. This one I honestly remember the least. I'm not gonna lie with you. I honestly remember this one the least. I remember it had the thumbnail of kind of the door with the little Christmas carol thing on it. But that's really all I remember. And I remember liking this one as well. Very similar to The House in a way, but I thought it was pretty dope. Again, it was an interactive story, so I'm assuming I liked it, honestly, to be real with you. But yeah, story's dope. So next we're gonna move on to the godly tier. Now before I get into the godly tier, doing some more research in between this video, he forgot knocks at the window, I believe. So yeah, just saying that, bro. Just saying that in case the author of this tier list ever wants to update it or something, then go right ahead, bro. That should be awesome. That should be dope. But appreciate whoever made this tier list. I'll link the tier list in the comments. Uh, you know, pretty awesome. Anyways, this golly tier, all these stories I remember pretty vividly, pretty good in my opinion. I think. To not do any research on them. So yeah, let's get into it. So many stories I actually listened to recently. So yeah. So the first thing we got on the godly tier is the trailer. Now this is an original creepypasta by Mr. Nightmare. Love Mr. Nightmare's writing style. Love his original creepypastas for the most part. The only one I'm not a very big fan of is probably Sneaking into Freddy's. Something like that. I'm not sure, but yep. This one, fucking masterpiece. I love this one. Um, so much suspense, so much thrill, so much horror, and Mr. Nightmare preaches that it really happened. So, or not really happened, but something similar to it happened. I meant something similar. Like I remember one of his videos, he included a personal story of his. That video is also deleted as well. I feel like he just wants to keep his anonymity. But yeah. So this story's dope. It really is. Please go check it out. Give a plot summary. It's pretty much like Mr. Nightmare. He goes out to vacation in the Catskills with like his family, but eventually it ends up just being like his dad and his brother because the rest of his family doesn't really want to go. It's like a little bit boring up there. Just go for like the scenic view and all that. And some crazy shit happens. Some crazy shit happens. Is all I'm gonna say. Crazy shit. So much suspense, so much thrill, and the ending is crazy. And a lot of red herrings. There's a big red herring in the story that happens near the end. So yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Like the story a lot. Next we got is Happy Sun Daycare. I believe that's what it's called. Happy Sun Daycare is my shit. I remember this video, and I always used to call this video the Gray Room or the Great Door because I feel like that's what it's focused on. Happy Sun Daycare is about this now like abandoned daycare where it uses a very weird punishing technique that used to traumatize kids, and it was like this wolf dog wendigo creature or something that used to be in that room, and he used to fuck up little kids who misbehaved. And kids, they damn right, I would have never misbehaved in that school. Hell nah. I wouldn't want to see that thing. But story's dope. It's a good length. I believe it's almost like a half an hour long, and it does a damn job because the story is creepy as hell. And this is one of my personal favorites. I have not went back to listen to this recently, unlike some other stories on here. But yeah, I probably will go back to listen to this after this video is done. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm really edging towards that right now. But that's what's up. This video is mad dope. This story's mad dope. I used to think this creepypasta was by Mr. Nightmare, but I don't believe so. I think it's by somebody else. It's like a excerpt from like a news article or something like that. I believe that's what I heard, but I'm not sure, But yeah, like the story a lot, man. Big fan. Next we got Knocking. I actually listened to the story yesterday, so that's one of the few I did listen to yesterday. It's by Mr. Astro Bleem or something, and the premise of the story is so cool, and the ending is very sophisticated and nice. Like ties it up very good. And again, it's a plot twist ending, of course it is, but ties the story up with a neat little bow. Length is good. If I had to give this like an actual like good story, it's not like just off the books, I probably would give it to this. Knocking is about this guy who very randomly. I feel like you could have done so much more with this, but it's still a great story for what it does. Great story for the length it has. And it's about this guy who randomly, like in elementary school, he hears just people knocking on his door, like repeatedly, like just annoying. And eventually, it's very weird. He gets used to it, people think he's weird for that shit happening to him. And he just grows up to live with it. But eventually, at the end of the story, he goes over like his experiences with the knocking and all that, how he adapts to it. That's a big part of the story. But the ending is crazy. Eventually, he kind of gives in to the voices, and he kind of gets netted in with them, and he sees this little kid reading a book in like some library or something, and he's like, open the door, and then he realizes he became part of the knocking. And it's insane, man. I know I spoiled that ending, but the ending is crazy. And obviously, I didn't reveal all of it, but the story's mad dope, man. Very fucking good story. Um, and it's a quick little read, not that long of a story. And yeah, pretty much. That's it. Yeah, that's it for that story. The next one we got is Splash Mountain. This story is creepy as shit. I would kill myself if I was on that ride, probably. So, pretty much, Splash Mountain is about. And hold on, is this by Mr. Nightmare? Can y'all answer that in the comments for me, please? I've never known if this creepypasta was by Mr. Nightmare or not. Never knew. Can't really find who made this creepypasta either, because Mr. Nightmare, I think he had credit to the author, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not doing the right research. But yeah, Splash Mountain is basically about this guy at Disney. It's like 11 o'clock. I remember the story pretty decently, I think. And he goes take a piss or something, and his parents, like, or his family, my bad, like his siblings and his parents, they kind of just leave him. Like, they kind of just leave him there to go. And he swears he hears like his family there, like going on the ride. He's like, shit, wake up. I mean, wait up. And he missed the boat that they were on, and he saw like his siblings, like Mickey ears and shit. And he's like, oh, okay, they're on a boat in front of me, might as well just go. And he goes and he experiences scariest shit ever. Like, I'll be traumatized his ass. But yeah. So pretty much, animatronics fucking spaz out. It's a lot like a Freddy story in a way, but a little bit different. It's a Disney ride, but yeah. And this story is awesome, man. It really is. And Mr. Nightmare has some good music with it, good sound effects, good photos using the story. I forget to always credit Mr. Nightmare when it comes to these, but again, I never have any problems with him. He always does a great job on these stories. So like, what am I gonna criticize? But yeah, this story is awesome. Iconic ass story, if you ask me. To be real, like, this is iconic story on Mr. Nightmare's channel, and it's just shame that he deleted it. Honestly, the story is fucking awesome, great, and the ending is crazy. There is a plot twist, of course. Plot twist is very good. For me, this story actually didn't need a plot twist. I say that about very few stories, but I feel like it could have been on the same level without that plot twist, because it's just how good the story is. You know what I'm saying? How piss pants it is. But yeah, this story is great, man. Please go listen to it. Short listen, like I said, not that long. So next we got is The Peering Head. Now, I think this might be an original story. I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure it's an original story by the man, the myth himself, Mr. Nightmare. But I did listen to this a couple days ago, actually, so I do remember it pretty decently. It's actually very creepy, I'm not gonna lie. And I watched this version, I might link it in the description, where they actually added like photos to the story, which I think is so dope how people do that. It takes time to do that shit. and listening to the story and adding the pictures that fits the audio, right? You know what I'm saying? And credit to that person who made it. I'm gonna link it down below. I want y'all to go watch that because that shit is dope. But the Peering Head is a creepy story. Very simplistic concept, and the plot twist is fire. There's a lot of creepy ass moments in this story. Basically, it's this guy who moves like a state away from his parents. Like he moves to like, I think it's New Jersey, or he moves from New Jersey, something like that. And he's cool with a couple people, goes to work, and it's not bad, and he meets his neighbors. He feels weird about his neighbors because they look like they feel sorry for him. He meets his friend Jerry, and Jerry kind of introduces him to the house that he lives at, and he's like, yo, there's a fucked up history behind this house, bro. Like, nobody has lived there, since that event happened, and I'm not gonna spoil it because I want y'all to listen to it. But yeah, man, story's fire, and I mess with it a lot. Ending is crazy. Photo at the end is fucking creepy. But if y'all watch like the OG version of that video, you'll see it. But I think it might be in the video I'm talking about as well. But I love the story though. Mr. Nightmare does a great job writing stories, by the way. Like, he should do it more often. Like, once every month. That motherfucker should like write a story, because to me, all his stories are like very good. Like, I don't think he's ever had a bad original story. But yeah, story's good. On a technical standpoint, big fan. Next we got is Trapped at Freddy's. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, this is my favorite. Like, I might say my favorite creepypasta like ever, bro. Like, I love this story so much. And I can go from plot device to characters, but yeah, pretty much. I really do love this story, man. It's up there with some other stories that I'm about to list as well, and some stories that I've already listed. But I feel like if I had to say a favorite, to give a favorite, probably would be this or another entry that's coming up, which you guys might predict pretty easily. But yeah, man, I really do like the story a lot. Basically, it's about this guy, and it's kind of like a fictional setting where Five Nights at Freddy's is like a pretty popular restaurant. Like, people know the state that it's in, but people still go to it. So it's this guy, and he's with his little cousin Alex. I believe that's his name, Alex. And Arthur is with them, is chilling, and he notices how creepy those motherfucking animatronics are. Like, he recites some memories with the animatronics, and how they used to be and all that, and he compares that to how Alex is, these days, and I think that's really dope. And eventually, the restaurant's about to close. Alex is having a good time, and my bad about that. And he's having a good time, but Alex has to take a massive dookie. So he goes to the bathroom, right? But then, eventually, the often notices, damn, this motherfucker's taking a long ass time. What are you doing? Restaurant about to close. And he hears the doors close, bro. And he's like, Alex, you better get your ass out of here, bro. Come on. And, he goes to the bathroom. He's like, I've had enough of your shit. He goes to the bathroom, and he just sees Alex's shoes. Like, Alex is not there. And at this point, I would kill myself. Like, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. Being stuck in a building alone, locked with animatronics. Like, I'm breaking windows, bro. I'm breaking windows, dog. I'm getting out of there, bro. I'm getting out of there, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting out of there. But I guess Freddy's didn't have no windows. Oh, they did. But they're reinforced and bulletproof or something like that. But yeah. From that on, you can just this chaos ensues. Like, he stays in the office and just tries to survive, and something just as simple as that can make a story just amazing, and the story succeeds. I believe this was written by Mr. Nightmare, so Mr. Nightmare, you have written one of my favorite stories of all time, bro. Point blank, period. Like, I really do love this story. I don't know why. I have a lot of nostalgia with it as well. Um, so that is a big factor as well. But I could care less. I love that story. Go listen to yourself. Go listen to it yourself. If you have not listened to the story, please, I'm begging you. Like, I'm sure you'll love it. If you don't love it, come back to the video and say I hate burritos or some shit. I don't know. But you're probably not gonna say that though. You're definitely gonna like the story, I promise. Next we got is Four Nights at Freddy's. I love the story, not as much, but a lot as well. I feel like it's a little bit corny with its kind of end. A little bit corny. That's what kind of puts it a little bit above, a little bit below Trapped at Freddy's. But I do like the game FNAF 2 over 1 though. I'm not gonna front. So that's not even that. You can't even account that. So don't say anything about that. Promise you, I like the second one more. So this one is about a little different perspective than the first story. The guy actually works at Freddy's, and he's an employee, and he gets hired for the night shift for a week. And then once he completes his week, he'll get a raise, and he'll get the day shift. I just listened to the story yesterday as well, so yeah, little refresher. But the story's not like an easy listen. It's like half an hour. But yeah. But it's awesome though, it counters his first night, which goes by pretty normally, and just like the game, scale goes up on every night. The first night, he notices a couple weird shit, but it's not too bad. The second night, he's like, all right, but what am I getting myself into? Third night, I want to kill myself. Fourth night, I just said Fortnite. The fourth night, I should have killed myself on night 3. Pretty much. Suicide jokes, not funny. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that, but I'm being honest with you, bro. Like, shit is scary, bro. It's scary. But yeah, man, it's a pretty creepy story. I don't think it's as creepy as the first, just because of the atmosphere that I'm imagining when I'm listening to this crap. But I think the end is a little bit corny though. Not the ending, but like the end part of the story with spoilers where Foxy saves the after and all that. Like, there's always been that narrative that Foxy is kind of the good one out of the bunch, which I used to think as well. But I mean, he's an animatronic at the end of the day. Who cares? But again, it's just a story. Who gives a fuck? The story's awesome. The story's great. F what I have to say, bro. Who cares? Next we got is probably my most underrated, The Nightmare Zone. The Nightmare Zone, a silent town. This one has heavy inspiration from the Twilight Zone. If you have not watched a single episode of the Twilight Zone, then you live under a rock, bro. Sorry. Or like at least a single episode. Like, I get if you haven't watched the entire show. I haven't watched that entire show. I watched like a season and I loved it. It's an old show, but it's just so unique. And Mr. Nightmare does a great job. I'm not sure if this is based on a real episode or if this is written by him, but he narrates it damn well. And the plot is creepy and the ending is creepy. Pretty much it's this guy who wakes up and he notices that there's nobody in this town. And again, Mr. Nightmare calls this a nightmare zone because he's Mr. Nightmare and he's like making his spin-off of the show. And unfortunately, this was the only version he did, and he never did something like this again, which sucks because I love this one. And this guy wakes up in a silent town, and he just looks through and he counters how eerie it is, how weird it is, and all that good stuff. Just exploring, trying to make what there is of this. And the end is very creepy, man. Like, I remember he almost thinks he can escape, and then he sees like a sign again, and he's like, oh wait, never mind, I'm back. Or he hears his girl's voice and all that crap. I don't want to spoil too much of it. It's awesome. Go listen to it. There's some things I want to spoil, but I feel like a lot of people did not listen to the story because it doesn't really look that appealing, honestly, if I'm being real with you, but it's awesome. And if I never listened to this story, to be real with you, I never thought I would put it in this godly tier along with some of the other classics that Mr. Nightmare's uploaded. But yeah, I think it's deserving of this though. Really, go listen to it, I promise. It's so dope. And it's very unique from these other stories on here, like the Twilight Zone format and all that. So yeah, my arms are fucking tired holding this mic. 2 more to go, bro. 2 more to go. So the next one we got on here is The Truth About Chuck E. Cheese. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Let's see here. Yep, The Truth Behind Chuck E. Cheese. My bad, not about. Behind. My bad, guys. Another interruption before the final entry of the little review thing we got going. But it's straight though. Just keep it moving. So Past the Truth Behind Chuck E. Cheese. Again, iconic, classic. Go listen to it. Deserves to be in this tier a lot by far. So yeah, the final one we got in this. Oh my god, that voice cracked. Jesus Christ, I have to cut that out. Psych, you thought. Don't cut shit out. But anyways, the final entry we got on this godly tier is going to be A Visit to Fazbear's Fright. This story is, or it's an interactive story, my bad, I forgot to tell you guys that. It is an interactive story. I cannot find this shit, anywhere. I can find the first video, but I can't find any of the links. It's really fortunate, because I really like that shit. Very cool. You visit, Fazbear's Fright with a friend, and, man, it's awesome, man. It's just such a good fucking story. It's my favorite interactive, mainly because it's Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which I like that game pretty decent amount. Same with the first and the second. But I really do like these games, you know what I'm saying? I do like these games, so remember that is a factor in this as well. So yeah, I mean, I like the story a lot. Unfortunately, Mr. Nightmare deleted the shit a long time ago. So yeah. But anyways, it's very good. Again, I can't really tell you to go listen to it because it's kind of hard to listen. I can't even listen to it myself. If y'all, another voice crack, Jesus. If y'all find a way to listen to this, the links working and all that, please tell me, bro. Please, same with all the other interactive stories. If you find a way, please link me to it, or link me to a video or a playlist or something. Just anything that works, anything that works. Just really, please, I'm begging you. But that's it for my list. I showed you guys it in the beginning. But I'll show you guys it probably one more time. Or maybe I might show it. I might not show it in the beginning. I'm not sure. I'll think about it in editing. But yeah, that is my my from worst to best. Now, if I have to rate every single one from worst to best, which is, let's see how much this is real quick. This is if I'm counting right, if I'm counting correct, 37. I counted try to count 10 seconds. But yeah, so that's 37 stories. If I have to rank each one, I would say the worst is The Path, then The Wrong Room, then Blood Red Riding Hood, and then The Pursuer. That's 34, 37, and 34. Then mid, we have the worst in mid is probably the children upstairs, and then subway stare, and then the portraits, and then SpongeBob bootleg, then Thomas, then the Snatchers, then nuclear meltdown, then subway stare, and then the flashing light. Or did I already say subway stare? And then the flashing light. Well, actually, no. Below nuclear meltdown, I'll put sneaking into Freddy's. In a good tier, this is hard. I mean, that I just ranked 33 to 25. Okay, the good tier, this is tough. This is really tough. This might take me a minute. The worst in the good tier, probably Christmas tree decorations or Bad Dream. I'm gonna say Christmas tree decorations. That's my 24. 23, probably. Ooh, this is tough, man. This is tough. Probably. Then Bad Dream. Then Last Friday. Then Chicken Bones. Then Tapping and Knocking. Then Am I Crazy? Then the Cross Space. Then the Puppet. But below the Puppet, I'll put the Toy Story one. But also below the Toy Story, I'll put Last Friday. Okay, yeah. And then I'll put Unrelated Events. Then Peter's Shadow. And then I'll probably put the 2 interactive stories there. I really wish I could revisit those, man. Really wish. That'd be fucking awesome. That'll mean like $1,000 to me, bro. Not saying you're gonna need $1,000 if you help me out with that shit. Nope. I don't think I've ever had $1,000 like. Well, probably. I was gonna say I don't think I had $1,000 like during my life yet, but I think so. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, golly tier. This one is tough. The worst in the golly tier is hard for me. I'll probably say Knocking, then The Peering Head, then A Visit to Fazbear Fright, then then The Nightmare Zone, then Happy Sun, then Splash Mountain, then the trailer, then Four Nights, then The Nightmare Zone, then A Truth Behind Chuck E. Cheese, and then Chapter Freddy. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Actually, yeah, I think that's perfect. Yep. I'll probably put it on the list so you can see. Might change some shit while I'm editing, I don't know. Sorry to be quite frank with you guys, I don't care. My videos having continuity. I'm trying my best. But yeah, man, that's every single creepypasta on this tier list. Appreciate whoever made this. Appreciate y'all if y'all watching. I love these creepypastas dearly. From meh to godly. I love them dearly. I really feel like I feel like Mr. Nightmare would be like the Michael Jordan of horror YouTubers if he stuck to this shit. Being real with you, bro. But I like the true scary story shit too. That's cool. It's true, so it does make it a little bit scarier. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not even being cliche. That's true. It can happen, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is my creepypasta. That is 37 down the books. I know there is a little bit more than that, but again, this is most of them. So if I'm missing some, y'all can remind me, and maybe I'll rate them in the comments if I've listened to them before. I might be forgetting some that I listed. I know he's missing Knocks at the Window. I think he's missing the girl in the photograph. He's missing a grain of sand, but I don't think anyone knows where grain of sand is though. So can't really blame him for that. Um, but yeah, there's a couple creepypastas on here that aren't on here, and I can give my opinions on them in the comments or something. So yeah, appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good night, good day, wherever you are, and I'll see y'all later.